Welcome to the Young Crones Cafe, where you can get a magic brew full of all sorts of information, both witchy and practical.
Grab a cup of coffee and join us. I'm Elizabeth, a wordsmith.
And I'm Dave, a modern-day sage.
We are going to talk about various witchcraft and life topics from a slightly more mature perspective, at least most of the time.
Thanks for joining us.
Here's a little something from the Young Crones Cafe to get you through until our next regularly scheduled episode. I'm going to talk to you about your personal powers for spellcraft, which is going to be an excerpt from a future book project. In the meantime, for anyone who's listening and cares, our book, The Ritual Practices of the Path, a book of ritual for witches, will be available starting next week sometime on Amazon.com, or just check it out on our website at twoyoungcrones.com. So now that we've gotten through the commercial, let's talk about your personal powers for spellcraft. Eliphas Levi was a French occult writer during the time of Napoleon. His work, Transcendental Magic, which detailed the four powers of the Magus, had an influence on the polemic principles of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which was an early occult group founded in England as a secret society dedicated to studying the occult, metaphysics, and paranormal occurrences during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In fact, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of the Sherlock Holmes detective series, was reputed to have been one of its members. This order is still active today in various groups and is thought to have influenced modern witchcraft practices in a number of ways. Levi was the first known modern occultist to have written about the concepts of to know, to dare, to will, and to keep silent that are often considered the foundations of the practice of modern spellcraft for a number of different traditions and peoples. In fact, if you Google four powers of the Magus, you get more than 600,000 hits, which shows just how popular a topic this is. Put together, they can explain not only how magic works, but the qualities needed within a witch as your personal powers for spell work. While all sections of this phrase work in conjunction with each other, it can be beneficial to consider each part separately first. To know. To know is the first cornerstone of your personal powers for spell work. It is often linked with the element of air, which makes sense because air is associated with new ideas and the intellect. It is about acquiring a knowledge base of things like correspondences and how you connect with energies for spell work. It is about discovering how magic works and how to craft spells that are personally effective. It is learning how to take care of yourself and how to gain those new perspectives. It is finding out what you choose to believe. This is the foundation of knowledge which allows you to develop the confidence that magic works and to set a specific intent for any magical working. You must be able to state positively and with certainty exactly what you are trying to accomplish when you cast the spell. You must know yourself to be sure that what you plan to do is what is most needed for yourself or any others for whom you might cast spells. It's most basic. To know is to be certain about what needs to be done. To dare. To dare is the second cornerstone. It is often linked with the element of fire, which makes sense because fire is associated with courage and the cycles of creation and destruction. It is about having the courage to take a risk by trying something new and moving from knowing how to cast or write spells to actually trying it out. It is about working to establish these energetic connections that can enhance your spirituality and to use practices that enhance your life on many different levels. Courage is knowing that to create something new, something else must be quote unquote destroyed or transformed in the process to make way for what is to come. You can open yourself up to the universe and accept that you may not know what is going to happen and give up that sense of control we all seem to need in order to participate not only in effective spell work, but life itself. Knowing what you need to do based on working with the first cornerstone allows you to develop the ability to dare. Daring is not about throwing yourself into some abyss or something, or doing anything that might cause harm to yourself or others. It is about taking calculated risks based on your personal growth needs which will constantly change based on your personal practices. To will. To will is the third cornerstone. It is often linked to the element of water, which makes sense because water is associated with strong personal emotions and desires and going with the flow. It is about recognizing that much of what you want as a spiritual person involves some type of emotion. It grows into experience the feelings of connection with the energies you work with and a longing to connect with the divine itself. Knowing what you want and practicing to make it manifest through daring allows you to add your personal will, i.e. emotions, to spell work, which deepens the experience and makes it more powerful. Your true will at its core is your personal spark of the internal divine, which is the source of your magic and your spiritual path. Also think about how water just keeps flowing around the rocks of a river. It continues on its course despite any obstacles that it encounters. It finds a way to go around or over or under if necessary. It also eventually wears the rock away to nothing through the force of the current. Similarly, putting your will into your spell work allows you to keep going because you have now connected your knowledge and your daring workings to your emotions. To keep silent. To keep silent is the fourth and final cornerstone. It is often linked to the element earth, which makes sense because earth is associated with silence and those hidden depths not recognized without stillness, as well as grounding and centering. Waiting for change to manifest without constantly focusing on the results and working to stay in the process of change itself is something that really requires a stable foundation, which is very earth-centered. Having connected what you know with your ability to try spell work and adding in the power of your emotions allows you to move forward to keeping silent about your spells or share with only a few that you pick and choose carefully. There are many who feel that if you talk about a spell, you lessen its effectiveness or change something somehow so that it may manifest differently than you intend in your life. How and what you share is a matter of personal choice, just as is what and how you choose to do magic. Also, learning to sit with that stillness allows you to connect more easily with your internal spark of the divine, which is the source of your knowledge, your ability to dare to try new things, and is the wellspring from which your emotions arise. Stillness allows you to better discern what changes have happened and where you want your practice to go next in terms of growth and development. How or if you choose to add your personal powers to a spell is your own decision. However, being aware of what you can add to any of your castings will not only benefit your spell work, but strengthen your belief that you are the magic. So, until next time, may you find mirth and reverence in all things. Well, it looks like the coffee cups are empty for this week. We hope you join us again next Tuesday, but you can find us at our website, 2youngcrones.com. That's the number 2, Young Crones.
We'd love to have you join our growing online Discord community. Check out our new Patreon presence. Just look for Young Crones Cafe. Through Patreon, you'll be able to make it to our Discord. We are also Young Crones Cafe on Twitter and Facebook.
Until then, remember, we are witches who work with energies to effect change.
We are believers in both immanent and transcendent divine.
We are celebrants of the passage of the solar and lunar cycles.
We are hedge walkers who pass back and forth between the worlds of the magical and the mundane.
We are seekers of knowledge.
And we are walkers of a spiritual tradition we call the Path.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.